holidays, everyone. I'm Karen Akavala from Human Touch Media, and I am here with Becky Livingston, the creator of The Soul of Social, and also the CEO of Penn Hill Marketing. And she is here to answer your most pressing social media questions. So where are you today, Becky? How are you celebrating?
Well, I'm in another office, you can see. I've painted the walls green just for the holiday. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're still at home.
And I am wearing my favorite Christmas sweater, although my shoulder keeps disappearing there for a second. But all right, let's get started. So this question comes from Sylvia. And Sylvia writes, should my Instagram account have a theme? I've seen companies that only use pink images, for example.
It's a great question. It goes back to branding. Putting filters on things on Instagram is kind of an old school thing, even though Instagram isn't that old. So putting a colored filter over your pictures is kind of outdated, but that doesn't mean you can't use pictures with a consistent color or theme in them. For example, my company colors are green and purple, and your company colors are...
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Black and white.
Black and white. So whenever you find a picture, it should have something related to that color in the picture that you're posting. It doesn't have to be a lot of color, as long as there's some color. It's usually called a hero image in branding. So when you're thinking about that, if you can find pictures that have some element of color that is the same as your brand, then use those. For example, if you look at the Coca-Cola Instagram feed, there's red in every one of those pictures. Red and generally red and white. You won't always see the bottle. It's not always there, but there's subliminal messages. Here's our company color. Here's our white and red, and it represents Coca-Cola. There might be a wave. There might be a swish. There might be some element of those two colors. So rather than using filters, try to find pictures that have your colors in them.
And how do you feel? I've seen some Instagram accounts that form a picture when you're looking at the grid of pictures. So you might just see something pop up in your feed that's like the corner of something. But then if you actually go to that page,
yep,
it's forming an image. I would think that would be very difficult to maintain.
That takes a lot of thinking up front. You need grid paper so you can figure out what this picture is going to be when it's done. The hard part is it doesn't always show that way on a mobile as easily as it does on a desktop, because you have wider real estate on a desktop. So it's good to test the theory out before you actually implement, to make sure it doesn't end up being some other kind of weird image or half of an image, or chopping something important off of an image before it goes onto the grid. But that's a great idea. And it only works for people who actually look at the grids, which is probably about 2% of the
I was going to say, I don't know that I would necessarily do that right off the bat.
Yeah.
Maybe if I saw some weird thing, I might put it together, that it's part of a bigger image. I can't say that I would really take the time to look that up unless it was really something crazy.
Right.
You know, I was very interested in, or a brand I already followed for a long time, to see what they were up to.
Yeah.
Okay, but great question.
Yeah.
All right. The next one comes from Allison. And Allison writes, I can't get anyone to follow my business on social media. What are some ways to reach people without spending a lot of money?
Social media is tough.
We've been there, I think.
We've been there. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. One of the things that you can think about is, particularly depending on which social media platform you're using, you can always invite people. You can invite people on Facebook. You can invite them on LinkedIn. You can create lists on Twitter. You can join groups on Pinterest. You can invite people to view anything. So if you have a customer base already, remember to invite them to your social profiles. Another thing that helps with engagement is leveraging what I love is the National Day calendar. That's the calendar that has all those weird things, like it's National Cheese Pizza Day, or it's, National Daisy Day, or whatever it is. There's hundreds of these every month that take place. And for you to get into some kind of rhythm where you're picking these things, because they're very trendy, National Cheeseburger Day, National, Hug Your Sister Day, those kinds of things. Very trendy, and can be very popular, and they can draw in an audience that you may not have been exposed to before.
Mhm.
Another thing to think about is how do you engage your audience? Polls are great. Facebook only allows 2 answers. LinkedIn has multiple answers. Twitter, you can have multiple answers. Great ways to engage with people with polls. Open-ended questions. Trivia is very popular. Using the hashtag trivia or trivia day is very popular. Think of things that are already trending. Throwback Thursdays, Friday Vibes, Marketing Monday. There's already a bunch of hashtags that are established. So if you go, for example, and search for hashtags by day, you'll see a series of them by platform: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's one way for you to get into a market that you may not have been exposed to before, have exposure in. So leveraging those couple of things is really helpful.
And what about if you have just a brick and mortar store? Like I'm thinking about the ice cream shop from a previous episode that we were talking about. Is it really just putting up a sign in your shop saying, "Hey, follow us on Facebook," or maybe what are some ideas to sort of get people who come into a brick and mortar shop to start following you?
They may miss the sign completely. So having someone consistently tell the message over and over, it goes back to GM and how they used to say the message over and over and over. Everyone in the company knew the message and they said the message. It's the same thing. Look for our new ice cream, whatever day of the week you do ice cream day.
Mm-hmm.
Look for our new flavor on Wednesdays, or get our coupons on Fridays, or it's family fun day on Friday. Bring your family in for a free kitty cone. Telling them that we announce this stuff on our social media platforms helps them to say, oh yeah, I have to go back and look at that on Fridays. Think about how influential things can be with kids. If it's a brick and mortar and it has something to do with children, is there something you can put at their eye level? Is there something you can create that will remind them to remind their parents? Think about that lovely song, Baby Shark. It's
No,
catchy. It's a catchy little tune. And kids loved it. For what reason? Because they could repeat it. It was easy for them. So the same kind of thing happens for adults, for kids, for whatever. If you can create some kind of catchy thing that they'll remember that, oh yeah, the new ice cream flavor comes out on Ice Cream Wednesday or Family Fun Day Friday, or yeah.
Okay, great idea.
Hashtagify me. Hashtag if.me. Hashtagify me is a really great place also to look for hashtags. And that breaks it down by, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
I know that I've sometimes used the contest idea for
that's a great idea.
Getting new followers. If we're just starting out, it's, the organic reach is going to be so dismal that you're not really going to find a lot of people just by having an Instagram account or a Facebook account or something. So I've gotten a couple of my clients to do a contest and they pick a random follower for a coupon or a free whatever.
That's a great point. I mean, I know you're in the Christmas holiday spirit there, but think about Halloween. What can you do for Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a brick and mortar store, you could have, count the eyeballs in the jar. You could have coloring contest. You could have something where the kid gets to name a charity, or some kind of contest related to that, where it could be family friendly or related to your brand. For example, I'm Penn Hill, so my colors would be purple and green, which happen to be Halloween colors. Yep. And I would do something related to that. Name our next social media question or something. I would do some kind of, that's a great idea, contest.
Okay, great. Thanks to Sylvia and Allison for your great questions, and to Becky for your great answers.
Sure. And thanks for your holiday spirit.
There you go. It's always fun to get in the spirit of things, no matter how things may be on the outside at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure you subscribe to Becky's YouTube channel so that you can be the first to know when our latest installment of The Soul of Social is published. And happy holidays.
Thank you.